Sorry from 17 once again. This is a Bloodborne The Old Hunters playthrough. Two stipulations here, guys. The first one is, it would be blind if not for the fact that I had some recording issue the other day that ruined the first half of the playthrough. So I got all the way up to Ludwig and my footage was crap. It was horrible looking, it was all juddery and stuttery and weird. So I made a little montage, put it together, showed you a couple of the standout moments. There were others, but some of them were too long and I didn't really want to tease you too much. So I just gave you kind of the idea of what happened. And I'm going to replay them now with knowledge of what's about to happen all the way up to Ludwig. And then from him onwards, it's going to be from the original recording of the blind playthrough. So it's only like the first hour of the DLC that I'm going to have knowledge of what's happening, and then everything from that point, guys, is going to be me going like, oh, this is bullshit, this is awesome, this is horrible, this is amazing, and everything in between. So I apologise, but what can you do, you know? I have terrible luck. This guy here is not the build that I'm using on the blind playthrough. This is a different character. It's the only one I had that was close enough to this area, and this is my blood tinge build. So as you can see, he's got 50 blood tinge. The rest of his stats are kind of not really there. He's level 89. This was the first blood tinge build I made. This is probably like week 3 of the game, so I haven't really done much with him or come back to him. But he has the Shikage at level 10, and unfortunately it's only the two-hander that does real damage, so he's a bit weak. But we're going to have some fun anyway, and we're going to progress through this early part of the DLC. So how do you get to the DLC? Once you've killed Vicar Amelia, there's going to be a new item just here. You pick it up, it is the Blood Drunk Hunter's Eye, or something along those lines. Is it a key? It's a key, I think. So there it is. I have a Blood Drunk Hunter. And what will happen is, this is essentially a tonsil stone. So if you come back over to your warp stones, you come over here to Cathedral Ward. Can you remember how there was an amygdala creature? He's going to take you to the DLC. He's also going to take off a large percentage of your HP bar with a frenzy attack, because that's just kind of what this guy does. It is a set amount of damage and it shouldn't kill you. But it's pretty big, it's at least 70%. Let's have a look. See what I mean? That's a lot.
Curse their fiends, their children too. And their children forever true.
Okay guys, welcome to the Hunter's Nightmare. The first lantern is just in front of us, just here. You're going to see that it's incredibly reminiscent of the place we came from. And this is where it all begins. So I've kind of got an idea of who the person speaking then was, but I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to ruin it for people who aren't too sure. Wherever you see bodies like this, it means there was an item that I picked up originally, because this build has been to the DLC, but all he did was run up some of these stairs. That's literally it. And I picked up the first of the new weapons, which is called the Bone Cutter, I think it is. But I cruised up here, and I noticed that there was these two townsfolk who have turned into beasts, and you see your first hunter. I thought he was actually a hunter, and he is, technically, as he kills the beasts, but he's not an NPC. He's actually the enemy of this area. He has a shotgun, and he has the new whip. That's the shotgun blast. It has very delayed shot on it. I'm not the biggest fan. There is a big horizontal move. It has 1 to 2 hits, that. Very easy to parry, if you know the timing. However, this weapon... Oh wow, he point blanked me. It's not going to be cutting the business so much, because I don't have the scaling on it. Stop it, dickhead. So, have we got the... Oh, I don't have my runes set up either. I should really have the Blood Rapture on, but I don't. It's going to make this a little trickier than it needs to be, but we've got the Blood Vials. And I can always do the two-handed of this, because I have the life for it. There's another hunter down there, and there's a shortcut that we're going to open up. It's an interesting shortcut. As you cruise up here, you're going to be noticing that a lot of the elements here are very reminiscent of what we've seen before, but they're slightly altered, slightly different. There is collectibles everywhere to be found. And down here there are more of the beasts, and across there is one of the new hunters. I call him Vivi, because he looks a bit like Vivi. He has one of the new weapons, which is the kind of crazy flame explosive hammer. And here these guys are afraid of you. Which, normally they would only do that if you held the torch up, but for some reason here they're all crazy. Be careful here, guys, there's two hunters. One of them is hidden, the other one not so much. These guys look like they're going to attack. Are you going to do your... Yes, you are. So I wonder what triggers these hunters here, because normally... Oh, here we go. There he is. There's Mr. Vivi, doing his thing. But you see, apparently, the promotional information for this game, for the Old Hunters DLC, it says on New Game, they recommend that you are level 65. That's the level they recommend. This character is level 89, and I would say he's probably a little weak for this area, because 65, you better be good, because the areas aren't too bad. They're a little tricky, they're a little tough. Some of the enemies are kind of ridiculous, but it's the bosses. The bosses are insane. 3 of them are a nightmare. The rest are okay. One of them is amazing, most of them are not, unfortunately. But these guys are actively going to attack the beast, which I think is wonderful, because I love that kind of interaction. Shotgun blast. That has massive range, you don't want to mess with this weapon. But it doesn't do too much damage to this build, which is quite good. He has great poise as well with it. It does big stun. How much am I doing? 780, it's not enough. One. Get him for me, dude. Oh, I'm damaging is my burial blade. Nice, dude. I don't have my blood rapture to get my shit back. That's unfortunate. Whoa. Stamp. Whoa! Touché, sir. Welcome to Blood Tinge, where this gun does more damage than my sword. It makes all the sense. There he goes. And he's down. In fact, this gun will probably do more damage. This one, because it shoots twice. So this is Mr. Vivi. He will buff his weapon before he attacks. He also has a torch, so he cannot shoot you. But this guy does big damage. Really big damage. But he's also slower than your average hunter, so he telegraphs his moves a lot. But look at the poise, dude. Staggering him is a pretty tricky proposition. And that explodes and does an AoE, so just so you know. Third hit? No. Shit. But there he goes. And these guys will drop gems. So the good news about this DLC, for me personally, is that you can farm semi-competent gems outside of Chalice dungeons. Of course, they're not going to be anywhere near as good as the ridiculous gems that you get in those dungeons, but still, they're not too bad. Right, I'm going to probably put this on, because this seems like a better choice for this build. I've got the noob stick. There's another hunter here as well. There's also a trap down in this corner. Because you see this? This is a turret. It's one of the new features of the DLC. It can be broken just like the ones previous. This is one of the hounds. It's just a dog, but it looks a little different. And I'm going to have a lot of trouble with them if they're going to take this much damage. So I should really be shooting them, because my gun does mad damage. What? Sit down, Fido. What? Jesus. So this is going to be... Oh, I'm out of bullets. It's going to be quite the contrast to my other build, which is a 50-50 strength dex. Oh, this guy's interesting. He's using the new rifle. It shoots twice. Once, twice, and then he uses another new weapon, which is the scythe, which is a really cool weapon. I like it a lot. really, really cool weapon indeed. Not gonna lie, my lack of damage is a little concerning. Have I got any buffs? I do. Wow, 49 buffs. Good lad, Chris. It's almost like I knew my damage wasn't great, so I made up with it. But I also have the two-handed of this, which I should really be using. Up here is a trap, and you can use it to kill your friends, so it's okay. The thing I'm afraid of is there's a new enemy coming up, and if you watch my montage, I thought he had a beard. He doesn't have a beard, he actually has the crazy Cthulhu mouth bullshit that the kin have. Ooh, Old Hunter's garb. So this is one of the new outfits. I'll pop it on for a little while. It's a pretty cool looking piece of gear. I love the outfits in this game. It's got a especially traily back, if you like that kind of thing. And this is 2 points of contention. The first one is it's a really cool sequence. They open the door into the cathedral and they get absolutely jacked by the big dude. The problem here is it happens every time. This is not a one-off event, and it sucks. Because you have to watch it every time you want to go and fight an optional boss. And the optional boss can kill you in one hit. And by the way, this guy is essentially an executioner. Only he gets this weird karmic justice buff that is incredibly overpowered. Can I not buff this sword? It doesn't look like I can. Okay. I didn't dodge that. You'll see him buff now, probably. So I'm going to fully charge this. Thanks. He didn't do it! One. And he didn't do it! Why wouldn't you do it, dude? Interesting, he started to turn around. I wonder if he's got a leash. That's his weird grabbing move. Little long bullets. For my taste. Whew. Oh, the stairs trolled me, dude. Well, we're not doing too bad damage. I cannot buff the Shikage. I did not realise that. Shows that how long it's been since I played this game, even remotely seriously. That doesn't do as much damage. That is decent damage. Eat my dick! He hasn't buffed, I don't know why. So the guy who... Oh, dude, that buff is so bad. You have no idea how bad that buff is. It makes that dude way harder. He drops blood vials, which, if you ask me, is a fucking robbery compared to how tough he is. Up here is the Flame Cleric Beast, but you have to activate him in a specific way. And during the playthrough, I didn't figure out how to do it, but after the playthrough, I've since learned. So I'll probably have a video up of that separate. But there's nothing much to explore here, except for this right-hand path. There's a couple of Molotovs on the right, which could prove quite handy. I'm trying to think. I'm so weak with everything. Visceral attacks. I need to two-hand. That's what it is. I need to injure myself to do good damage. Because this is my risk build, I guess. I'm just not used to using it, so I'm not in the mindset of two-handing this bad boy and gradually dying. But you come over here to the Rivers of Blood, and you're going to notice that there's going to be a bunch of guns shooting at you. And these guns really hurt. This build I'm on right now, he has 30 vitality. I do this DLC with 11 vitality, I think it is. So as you can imagine, everything hurts, and everything hurts a lot. But there are ways through it, just be careful of that. Like that just then, wouldn't have killed me, and I pressed a trap there. If I'd have not stood on that, I would have not taken that damage. But they can be broken, and I think I can show you a good way of breaking them. So if you have any kind of long-range weapon, and you use the monocle, you should be able to do this. So that's a pretty cool way of like mitigating some of the threat if you want to do this. You don't have to, of course. It's completely optional. But... oh, bollocks. There you go. Turrets are done. And you didn't even have to run past them. I run past them in the video, and I'll show you a... oh, you'll never see it. Maybe you'll see it later on, I don't know. I originally ran past them, but you 100% do not need to. Motherfucker. But these are just standard hunters. Well, that's another trap. Wow, that could have killed me. See what I mean? This place is full of traps. I need to put this away. Very trap heavy. But as we progress down here, you're going to get introduced to a new weapon, which is what these fellas are using, which is this weird Molotov, which is essentially a timed mine. I have no idea how they got this technology. That is a hunter. And he's going absolutely nuts. Completely forgot about you, sir. I wish I did more damage. I don't. Look at him though, he's massive hits. Really big damage, kind of slow though. That's your advantage. The fact that they're slow is what helps. Learn his patterns, learn to dodge, learn to parry, however you want to play. But I recommend coming here a higher level rather than a low level. Like I've currently got my I'm here at level 4. And this place is hard, dude. Even with pretty good weapons for that point, like I've really gimped, I've really worked on my weapons, and I'm still not doing the business, because this place is tricky. And it's also a bit of a gauntlet. You'll notice we've gone through a lot of tricky enemies, but no lantern, no shortcut. That's kind of what you're going to have to put up with. You're also going to notice there's a lot of similar elements to what you've seen before. Lots of reused assets, lots of areas you've been to, so you have a bit of an advantage of knowing the territory. But that only goes so far. A lot of it's going to come down to your skill, and if you're wondering where I first died, I died in that cave. Because there's an NPC waiting for you when you go in there. He's a bit of a bastard. I watched Darkside Phil make him glitch through a wall. I had no such luck, but Phil's a pretty lucky dude. You'll notice my brightness is higher than the default. It enables me to see this guy sneaking up on me. And there's more than one. So use all your tools that are available to you guys. I wish I could be, you know, more enthusiastic and tell you stories and things, but I really can't. I just need to get this recorded so that I can show you the stuff that's actually going to be really exciting. And I do apologise, folks. Coming up is a really interesting play on the fact that we know what's happening. So the game assumes you to assume. The game lulls you into a false sense of security. You know that there's going to be a guy here, and instead he's a ticking time bomb, and there are explosives. So if you come near this, it doesn't touch you. But I reckon that would probably kill you, just because of how these games work. And what you just witnessed then was how I dealt with it my first time. I kind of knew something dodgy was going to happen. As soon as I heard the ticking, I backed up like I did just then, and I was able to be successful. Over here is an NPC. He has the dual claws. But the problem with this is he's kind of tough. He does these crazy super armor jumps, he's got massive life, and he can probably kill me quite easily, and it'll take me a while to kill him, and I haven't opened the shortcut yet, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come over here, and the first thing you're going to notice is there's the blood bugs. But don't worry, they are not the blood bugs from Canehurst. I shit my pants when I saw this many of these dickhead enemies, because I hate them. I think they're one of the worst enemies in the game. But these ones cannot jump. I don't know why, I don't know what the reason is, but they can't jump. It's nothing to do with the belly either. I assumed at the time, when they're full of blood, they can't jump. Not true. These enemies have been gimped so that they can have them in this number. And that seems to be pretty much the be-all and end-all of this situation. So my recommendation here, if you go to your right, you can indeed get a new weapon. Yeah, that's not the best weapon against this guy. I missed, shit. I can hear all kinds of bad things. The new weapon is called the amygdalan arm. It is the arm of an amygdala. It is a strength weapon, and it's pretty crazy. Additionally, the NPC in that cave over there has a chain gun that you can get when you kill him, so you can get 2 new weapons that way, but it's a dead end, and in that dead end is a blood-starved beast who's not tough at all. He's just a standard enemy version. If you've done the Chalice Dungeons, you'll be more than familiar with it. But it's not a very good environment to fight it, so what I did is I backed up, and it couldn't follow me past the carriage, so I had it pinned up, it couldn't do anything, and I just kept killing it with jump attacks. Wasn't exciting to watch, just kind of how it happened. And then we have this, which is a pretty intimidating cross, but it's not too bad at all. The problem is the guys with the guns. They do friend... Oh, and him. He's dangerous. He has power armor too, so be careful with that. And watch his gun. My gun's good too, though, dude. And his gun will be really good for me. So once you do that, you're completely safe up here, which is good to know. The guys down on the bottom, they shoot blood at you, but it does tiny damage. It builds frenzy, however, and that's the real issue. Here's a bit of a trap of people with guns. Another one of those hunters that we just killed, and this guy over here. So get rid of him, and then get rid of this guy if you can. And you'll be laughing. Oh shit, that hurt. Look at that, you cannot stop it. Why? Why do you have that much priority, dude? That was the second shot. Again, he got me with it. So this ambush is normally really easy, but because my weapons are shit, they're not technically shit. They're just not what I need them to be right now. A Shikage build here is going to be really tricky just because of the nature of this environment. Come on, dude. That's what we need. Right. Eat my dick, son. You might wonder why I don't have a cannon on this build. I honestly couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. It's very stupid of me. But I just don't. So once you're over here, you are safe. Except for that tosser, who shouldn't be up here, but for some reason he is. Like, they'll go back because they're like, hang on a second, we're not meant to be here, what are we doing? And I believe over here is a piece of clothing. Not too sure which, but it's something. Yeah, constable gloves. It's the outfit that you're going to see later on. There's a nice little trap here. Very dishonest. You see how there's a post there and there's nobody on it? Later on there'll be somebody on that. I have no idea why he's not there when you look, but when you go there, he'll be there, trust me. So once you've got to this, you're safe. Because if you come over here, you're going to meet your first NPC, who I believe is called Simon. He's got a fantastic outfit that we're going to get later on in the DLC. If you look at him, it's sleeveless. He's got like a weird bag on his back. It's a really cool lapels. His leggings have got no shoes. His gloves are weird, and he's blind. He's kind of like blinded himself with band-aids. But if you come to this and you open it, you should already know where we are here. They've reworked the side door in Uden Chapel to work as the shortcut. So we're now back at the very beginning lamp, and we're laughing, which is awesome, because that means that we can now confidently go forward and see what the DLC has to offer. Once again, guys, I'm sorry it's going to be like this. It's kind of clinical and there's not much passion to it because I've done it before. It sucks. It does. If this was a walkthrough, it would be different because it would be post-commentary, but it's not. So what we're going to do here, there's a wonderful clip of me running and getting the outfit that those people are all gangbanging. I'm not going to do it this time. It's really easy to do. It was first attempt. I didn't die. But they're guarding a piece of clothing. He's just here being an idiot. Notice how I'm not being murdered by him? I don't know what they did to that enemy, but he's now not a threat. I'm so happy because I fucking hate that enemy. The dogs that are coming up here, however, are a threat. So I'm going to try and shoot it if I can, but it seems to be getting stuck in the geometry. Yeah, there's 2 of them, and I believe there's a hunter with them as well. So we'll use some blood bullets. Is he still alive? No idea why the gun's doing different damage. There we go. Pop a couple vials. Can't quite remember what's over here. Is it just an item and an enemy? Does anybody drop in? Just an item. Some frenzied cold blood. Always good. Right, so over here... Still no lantern, by the way. If you're wondering. There is a whole bunch of crows there that are designed to be assholes and pull your lock on. The crows are stronger in this as well. Do not think that the crows are the same shit as crows from Central Yarnum. They're not. They will take big hits. Just like that guy who gives big hits and takes them in equal. Second hit. Need to be careful here because the crows don't seem like much, but they can stun you. And if they stun you and he follows up, it's a bad place to be. It's very deliberate, very evil. See what I mean? It's sneaking up on me through the grass, and he can't interact with it either, which is a little choice. But he's dead now, which means all the threat is on enemies that shouldn't be too bad, feasibly. I recommend using this weapon in combination attacks, just so that you don't spend too much time being bled. But the best way to use this weapon is, of course, to try and have some kind of life recovery, if you have, a la the blood rapture and things like that. Oh, I missed. Shit. I missed twice. Let me show you the new weapon. I don't think I've upgraded it much. Yeah, I haven't upgraded it at all. But it's pretty cool. You're going to see me use this quite a lot in the DLC. It has the most range out of almost all the weapons in the game. It's wonderful. Look at that. But you cannot recover quick enough sometimes to get away from things, which makes it pretty dangerous to use. Ah, stamina. I'll be quite done. Well, that was interesting. Are you still alive? Who the fuck are you? Where did you come from? Hate that enemy. It should never take more than one hit. Nobody wants to fight it. And that is just a dog with a dude. But do not underestimate it, because of course the moment you do is the moment you die. But this dog is not charging me for some reason, so we're doing okay. And then his buddy. He's just a standard guy. I don't think they were guarding anything. They might have been guarding something once. I don't know. In a previous life. And then we have a nice ladder leading up. You'll notice we still don't have the next bonfire. So it should be giving you an idea of how difficult this is going to be for some people. You can drop down across there and get the outfit if you want to. You just have to drop onto the beams. Pretty simple stuff. Then across here, there is the unique weapon you've seen those guys using, but there's also one of those guys here who's waiting to ambush it, and he's incredibly fast. So you want to be careful of him. The good news is, he's got red eyes, which means he's also stronger. But we know he's here. He blends in really well though, you see him? He doesn't blend in so well now, but he does when you're moving there. And he will bum rush you super quick. And he has also got the Old Hunter's Bone. And he can do massive damage. So just be aware. See the distance he covers with that weapon too? When I came here, I had the ability to do really big damage to him, you see, so this wasn't as rough. Swing, dickhead. Wow. What are you doing? Waiting for me to swing. Clever. But he's pretty tricky. He drops blood vials, and this is the weapon he's using. The Beast Hunter Scythe. It is essentially a combination... And he dropped a vermin. Awesome. It's a combination. Think of it as a saw blade and the Blades of Fury. It's kind of really fast, and it's got some moves that get you in and get you out of situations. I'm going to be making a video that shows you all the movesets for the new weapons and the armors and things, so if you're curious of seeing it and you don't have the game, you will be able to see it on my channel, just not in this particular instant. Because I don't want this video to be too long, so I can get you to the section where I'm at, where it's blind. And it's going to be a really great point to be at too, because I'm up against one of the trickiest bosses in DLC history. This boss is a fucking nightmare. An absolute nightmare. So when you come up here, you're going to notice immediately that there is one of those big dudes that we saw before. Here he comes. See how he's walking? This guy actually has a cannon. He doesn't have the blade. And the cannon has those shots that are magic that find you. And I find them really annoying. There's also two of them. You see him over there? There's two of them. It's a little bit of a trap, this. The good news is, you don't have to fight them. I'm going to show you a nice path now to get directly to the bonfire. And not even have to mess with this. Because this is a dangerous area. Especially if you've got low vitality. Because watch the shots. He knows exactly where you are. It has a lingering hurt box. And he does a lot of damage. So you want to wait for him to shoot. And then you want to go. And then you run up here. And into this church. And in here is an asset used to get to Old Yarnum. And here is your lantern, guys. So there's your lantern. This avenue just here will lead down to the area that we were overlooking, where there's the guy. There's also a crawling arsehole there. There's an ability to summon an NPC if you're having trouble with Ludwig. And I'm going to show you where the boss door is now. And that's going to be covering our first episode. And every episode from here on will be blind. From this bonfire, you can backstab kill him and get his... I think he drops 10 bullets every time you do it. But if you come over here, there is a wonderful piece of level design. See that? They've put a witch just here. The purpose of her is to slit your throat when you're buffing outside the boss door, because she did it to me twice. You might see that footage, you might not. I don't know if it was lost. So you can backstab her if you want to. Get some free damage, depending on how strong you are. When I was using Ludwig's, the L2, two-handed, was enough to kill her in one hit, and it was the quickest way of getting rid of her. And then if you drop down here, there's a guy banging on the fence. This dude drops 5 blood vials every time. If you're stuck on this boss, you need to kill the witch, and you need to kill him before you fight the boss every single time, because if you don't, you're going to run out of blood vials really quickly, unless you're playing amazingly or you're really good at the game. Up here leads to the boss chamber. All you have to do is walk into this room, guys. The boss is really, really unfair in a lot of ways, but he's completely doable. Couple of tips to give you. Think all about stagger. If you can stagger this boss, you can put really good damage on him. You don't always have to be locked on. Sometimes locking on can be worse. He has a lot of weird detection on moves, so you're going to get bullshitted a lot. And the second phase is actually easier. You'll just probably see it less thanks to the bullshit of the first phase. Oh, and of course, don't get hit by that super move. It is ridiculous. But thank you for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of this blind playthrough. And my apologies once again that this couldn't have been my first run through. But life happened. Shit happens. We move on. Thank you for watching.